every.
But we've also been approached by. Well, first of all, it's great to be back in Istanbul. I've been here many times, over 50 years, so it's always a pleasure to come back here and present my work. This is really a collaboration, this exhibition, with myself and the curator, Anne Morin, who's with me. And she's, this was really her idea and her vision, and she's gone through my archive in a very deep way and came up with this very interesting approach to my work. So I'm honored and delighted to be here and to have worked with Anne and to come up with this very unusual, I think very interesting, new look at my body of work. So and I think not only the curation, but also the design of the show, the lighting and the light boxes and whatnot. I think it's a very creative direction, and I think it's, I'm very proud to be here. I want to go back again and look at it today. I was there yesterday with your Minister of Culture, and I was very, very happy that he enjoyed it. I think that so much of my work over the years has been sort of Asia. I went there first in 1978, and I sort of kind of got stuck in that region of the world, and I kept going back over and over again, 50, probably 100 times, that was really the place, that region was really the part of the world that I always gravitated to. Although I worked in Africa and China and Latin America and whatnot, but that was always kind of my first love. It was South Asia in particular. Well, if there's a connection between the Afghan Girl and Gaza, perhaps there's I've always thought with the look of Ara Guler, there's a resilience and a sense of fortitude. There's a dignity, I think, that she exhibits in her look. I think that from what I've seen from the pictures from Gaza, although I haven't been there, as you know, foreign photographers aren't allowed to work there. But I think the people in Gaza are displaying their resilience and fortitude and pushing forward and being, they're being as positive as they can despite the hardship, and they have that fortitude to remain and to not be defeated. And I think having a record of who we were, how we looked, our cities, our towns, the way we conducted ourselves, human behavior, I think it's fascinating to go back and look at pictures from 100, 150 years ago and see how we were, have a record of how we looked. And I think it's so important to have that memory, to go back and see what was life like in Istanbul in 1860. What did it look like? And it's just fascinating to be able to look into the past, and without photography you wouldn't have that opportunity. Or how did people dress? Now we all look pretty much the same. The way you dress, the way I dress is almost identical. But back then, 150 years ago, I'm sure that a Turkish man and a man wherever my ancestors came from looked very different. And that's all gone, it's lost, gone forever. I don't think somebody that does what I do, or an artist, or somebody who does it out of the love for the craft and the art, I don't think we ever retire. I don't think I would ever stop like eating or maybe breathing or whatever. So it's something that you just do because that's your life. But I think whatever remains of my work, once I'm gone, I think hopefully it'll be some insight into what life was like, some parts of the planet, the world we live in, what remains, with it'll be some memory or some document of how people were, how we related to each other, how we related to the animals and to the planet, the environment, some insight into that. Well, I just wanted to say how lucky I feel I was to be able to have a friendship with Ara Guler, who I knew over many years, and every time I came to Istanbul, I would make a point to call him, get together, have lunch, dinner, and he was always so helpful and such a fountain of information, but always willing to share whatever he knew. They can't say that about a lot of people. Sometimes they're very protective of their information, but he was just the opposite, very giving, very generous with his knowledge of where to go and what to do in Turkey. So we had a lot of great times together, and he was a spectacular photographer, and he was a great friend.
And what we see in that exhibition is really a portrait of humanity since many years, and that memory raised here in Istanbul, that means a lot. When you work in an archive, you have to wait. You have to wait until the archive tells you what you have to do, and you have to look at the pictures, and suddenly the pictures begin to speak, and you put them all together, and you begin to understand that there's a story that is growing, developing. I was interested in first getting into one part which I'm really interested in Steve's work, which is color and non-color. And in the exhibition, for the first time, you will see some pictures that we turn in black and white, which is a non-color. Also in the exhibition, you've seen that there's some association of pictures that tells a story, like a little sequence, and you understand the pattern of his eyes. How does he see? What are the pictures that get into his retina and that is getting returned to us? The sensitiveness of his humanity also, all that characteristics that makes him not a photojournalist, and I would say almost an artist in a way. He used photography as a painter used a pencil.